allergies are kicking me right now, but my name is Joshua Morales. I'm the creator of the platform Jantmor on YouTube. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And what inspired me to create Jantmor was it kind of happened by accident, to be quite honest. I started interviewing people, and like I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, but that the shape, the form of what like my expression with YouTube has like constantly changed. At first, it started like doing like school videos, trying to get like played in school and get like attention from that. Then it started out like doing like trailer movie reviews in like 2018, which like I still do to this day. But like, I think the consistency and like the topics that I cover on Jantmore now started because of like the pandemic basically. I started doing interviews because at the time I was working with this publication and also I'm a huge Linkin Park fan, so his first ever band was releasing a posthumous album for Chester, who unfortunately did pass away in 2017. And with me working with the publication, I was like, okay, well maybe I could like do something with this. Maybe I could like interview someone from the band, and I reached out to them, and they initially said no because I assumed they thought I was like trying to do something else. And I explained to them that no, I want to do an interview. And then they gave me my first ever interview with the bass player of the band, Mace Bears. I always mess up his last name. I don't know why. It's like a thing, but um I interviewed him on April 9th, 2020. And originally I was gonna do the interviews like interviewing musicians, but getting in touch with musicians is really, really difficult, especially with how their agents approach stuff. And then I was like, well, what else could I do? Huge Spider-Man fan of the Spider-Man games at the time. I was playing like Miles Morales, and I was like, let me try and reach out to like some of the voice actors. And since then, I interviewed my first ever voice actor, Stefano Young. I love him so much. He's the voice of Mr. Negative, also a dear friend of mine. And that was the first voice actor I ever interviewed. And since then, I've interviewed over 140 people of some of like the most well-known voice actors and entertainers. And it's just been a domino effect ever since.
That's awesome, man. Something I've noticed on your channel, there is a very big focus on the voice acting field, which is a very overlooked field, even though it's
Yes.
such a beautiful art form in today's media. What is it about the voice acting field that attracts you to it?
I think what attracts me to it a lot of the times is the intentionality and just like how a lot of the emotions and the tonality is all just through your voice, right? Like some of the best voice actors in the field are so expressive with only their voice. Like that is so impressive to me, or how they can like do they could change their voice so much like a chameleon and still make it a character that you feel and care for. Because it's not enough to just be able to like change your voice and sound like a gremlin or a troll. You have to make you're still an actor at the end of the day. You have to make that character, that troll, believable. And some of the best in the industry do that so well, so eloquently, and also like they're just so nice. Like the voice acting community is really nice and really supportive, and that's always and will always attract me to voice actors in the field of voice acting in general.
Gotcha. So you mentioned a little bit how many people you've interviewed, almost 140. I have a couple of the ones that you've interviewed. I mean, Carl Lumley, Corey Burton, Steve Blum, Cyril Robinson, and these are only top of the iceberg of the people you've interviewed.
Yeah.
What has that been like reaching out to these people that obviously some names here I think anybody would know, but then others you would know their characters, but because people don't really learn the names of voice actors. What has it been like being able to talk to them and reaching out and getting those interviews?
It's been the greatest blessing. It's probably one of the greatest honors of my life. It has truly been a very informative and enriching process. It's definitely prepared me also for like rejection, even though I'm still not the best at handling it. But as someone who also has ambitions, being an actor, being a writer and director as well, like there's so much a part of like Jantmor that I want to accomplish that I've still yet to put out into the world. It's really taught me how to deal with like rejection or being patient as well. You know, there are some interviews that I've gotten as of recently that I've been working on since I started. You know, some of these interviews have been in the works for 5, 6 years. I just did an interview with Robin Atkin Downs, who is the voice of Abomination. He was the voice of Doomsday and Batman versus Superman. He did some stuff for he's just legendary. Look him up. He's great. But I've been working on the interview since 2021 and we didn't do it until 2025 and we still have to do a part two this year that we're still scheduling, you know, so it just prepares you for that patience and like doing stuff in the meantime, which I think has been a really great asset and it's made me really come to again appreciate the field of voice acting and just the amount of effort and intentionality that goes into the craft that oftentimes is overlooked that I do try to bring a lot of attention to. So yeah, it's been really it's a blessing and I'm so glad that I still get to do it. Um being able to go to conventions and hosting panels and like I don't it's just a dream come true and something I don't take for granted.
Nice. So my next question is, obviously you're on one man team here at Jam. So I want to know, you mentioned the fact that you also want to do bigger things. You want to do, or you're a filmmaker, which I know very well. What has, I guess my question is, how, now that filmmaking has kind of have to be set to the back burner while these interviews keep growing, when you get back to it, what part of filmmaking do you want to be a part of? I mean, obviously director, writer, actor. And I believe we've talked about this. You've wanted to be a voice actor, right?
Yes, yes. Though I do want to say to just um while I like set up a lot of this stuff and like I do the questions and I do um I prepare and like organize a lot of this stuff. There are many people
Mm,
who are a part of like of Jantmor atmosphere that helped me. And my best friend Alex does a lot of the promotional editing. Jackson, who you know Jackson Wells, who we both know very well, dear friend, like he like records stuff and takes videos and like takes pictures of the events. And my friend Derek, and you know, there is a lot of people involved as well. Even though I am like I said, I go out of my way to look for it and set it up. You know, there's a lot of great people who make help make this dream come true that I want that again just like so blessed and so grateful to everyone and even like a lot of voice actors you know have helped me like book interviews or have put me in the same rooms as people to ask them if they would be interested so there's a lot of people that you know deserve a lot of credit for helping me get here but to go back to your question about filmmaking when the time when because I when I have time to audition and stuff, yes, I do want to be a voice actor. I want to be an on-camera performer. I want to be a writer as well. I think that a lot of my talent shines when it comes to helping other people's work come to life and also like telling my own story. So I think that's primarily where I'd want to be is like being an actor and like telling my own stories. Because you know, I've had so many people help me tell my own. I think to give back in that regards with performing is something that is very special and very important to me. And, you know, of course, by doing these interviews has really sharpened my skills in the craft. Just hearing over like 140 stories of how these great performers and great performances come to life. So,
awesome. So something you mentioned right before that question is the Comic-Con panel hosting.
yes.
So that has been an incredible thing. I still remember when you teased the videos of the Deborah Ann Wolf panel. I was like,
Yes.
holy, he's at a hosting that panel? I was very impressed. So I want to ask, what has that been like transferring from a digital medium of doing these interviews, a lot of them over camera, to now hosting these Comic-Con panels with such big stars like Deborah Ann Wolf? And I know it wasn't a panel, but still you interviewed him at that same Comic-Con, Michael Rosenbaum. Um, like what has that been like now doing these in person? And getting to host to such a big audience?
Um, it's been it feels like I'm where I'm supposed to be now. It's so funny because, a lot of the interviews people see nowadays on my channel are like older interviews like 2025 or 2024. I haven't really gotten newer interviews from like connecting through Zoom and such. I have, when I interviewed Phil Lamar and Zeno Robinson. But a majority of like newer interviews I do now are in person, like going to these conventions or panel moderating. So it just feels it's like a natural progression of what I've always meant to be doing, and it's now taking place on a larger scale. And it's just so cool. It's cool to be able to like ask these people questions in person and like shake their hand or like give them a hug. Like just that barrier being broken of going from, oh, just doing digitally to being able to ask these questions in person and see their face light up when you like ask them a really good question. It's I can't describe it. It's just amazing. It's such a blessing, and I'm just again, I know I sound like a broken record, but like it's just such an honor. Like I cannot believe I've been doing this for 6 years. Like I would have thought long ago that like this would have been just like a short little thing, a fun little side quest, a fun like little hobby. But it's really grown into something that's like all encompassing that I'm doing like all the time. Like when I'm not hanging out with friends or like in my spare moments, like I am editing or I'm thinking of the next question or I'm thinking of the next person I have to reach out to or I'm researching conventions next to me that I should like reach out to or email. Like I'm always thinking about Jantmor. I'm always thinking about like the next interview, the next thing I'm reaching towards. And yeah, it feels good. It was intimidating at first, especially like the Deborah Ann Wool panel. I've been trying to do panels for years. And I always was like, how do I get there? How do I break down that barrier? And I reached out to the lovely folks at Chattanooga Comic Con and I pitched like a bunch of ideas and like all of them got approved. So I did, in addition to the Deborah Ann Wool panel, I did like five other panels. It was insane. I remember seeing her come from the backstage area and like, I don't know, it was trippy at first. And I was telling her like this is my first ever panel, da da da, and all that stuff. And I remember being so scared. I literally felt like my stomach was going to explode. And then I got on the stage and then like all of that just stopped. And I was like, okay, I'm nervous, but like, okay, like this is good. And then of course when you start talking to a person for like 50 minutes, like you start to build this rapport of like the conversation or like how she feels about it. And it just, I don't know, it's just great. And it's creating this connection with people that I wouldn't get otherwise if I was just doing it digitally that is super appreciated. And I look forward to continue to doing it for many, 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 many years because I don't ever see myself stopping doing this. So yeah, it's just been a real honor and a real treat.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Now, I have a bit of a hypothetical question for you before we get
Okay.
to our final one.
Okay.
If you could tell me your dream interview and your dream
Ah.
panel that you could host, what do you think those could be?
Oh man, that's crazy. I literally have a book of like people I've wanted to interview since I started or like newer people that I've discovered that I want to interview. But my dream interview and dream panel go hand in hand. I'm a massive Transformers fan. Like I adore that franchise. Like Transformers. If it wasn't for Transformers, I honestly don't believe I'd be an artist. I don't think I would have met all the amazing people in my life like Jackson or Derek or you or like I would not. My life would be completely different without the first Michael Bay Transformers film. That is an essential part of my artistic journey and who I am as a person. But Peter Cullen and Frank Welker interviewing them or like hosting a panel with them would like blow my mind. Like that is literally like, okay, I can die now moment. Like okay, like I did this. Like it's if I do nothing after this, I did that. So to interview Peter Cullen or Frank Welker or interviewing them together, that would change my life, genuinely. I met Peter Cullen at GalaxyCon Raleigh 3 years ago, I think it is. Yeah, 3 years ago. And I was starstruck. I was like, oh my God, I don't even know what to say. It was a lot to take in. So Peter Cullen and Frank Welker are just two performers who just mean the absolute world to me. So to interview both of them or to interview them separately would just it would mean the world. But there are tons of people I want to speak to, that I hope to interview, but those are like the milestone. Like if
Yeah,
I speak to them, like yes. So yeah.
that's awesome. All right, well, Josh, I only have one more question for you. And
Okay.
that is, obviously you've been doing this for 6 years. The channel has grown incredibly. What is your advice for people who are starting out? Like, what is your advice for people who want to get into this field? Be it just YouTube, be it interviewing. What would you say they should do to be able to become successful in this field?
Oh. Um, research. Like research. Like be obsessive with your research. And I mean whether it's interviews, whether it's wanting to do TikToks, whether it's wanting to like research is like at the crux of all of this. Like you cannot be good without research and training. Even like if you want to be an actor or if you know all of this requires there's classes for acting, there's classes for writing, there's classes for directing and there's a reason for that because you need that research to get better, you know? Leave no stone unturned is what they say, and I couldn't agree more. Like, be obsessive in the research, be consistent. Consistency also is key, and I don't mean like consistently posting because we all have lives. You know, I work 10 hours a day at a warehouse Monday through Thursday. Like, I do not have the infinite amount of time that I would like to have to post like every other day, but I try my best, you know. So give yourself grace in your consistency. Give yourself grace when researching because there's so much out there, you know. And also be your biggest supporter, be your biggest fan. Because oftentimes I run into where I'm like, damn, I wish my friend would have liked this video, or dang, I wish my friend was like watching this and this and this. And the truth of the matter is, you know, you're putting this content out there for people who don't know you. You're putting this content out there because it means it's special to you. And just because, you know, friends or family don't see it or don't support it doesn't mean your work is not valid. Your work is valid because you are doing it. You know, you're putting your voice out there. You're taking the extra step, the extra mile that so many people do not take. And you should be proud of that. And you should ground yourself in the validity of doing it, you know? So never stop, be consistent, always research, always look to get better. You know, I'm always watching interviews. I'm always watching people giving me editing tips, whether that be for like graphic design or like, you know, so always strive to be better, always research, be consistent and be your biggest fan because you matter and you are valid just because of the work you're doing. So, that's what I would say. Kind of all over the place, but
I got you. No, that was great. And again, truly, thank you, Josh, for your time.
thank you. Such great questions. I appreciate you, man. This is really good. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. You did really good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Love talking to you as always,
Of
and I hope to
course.
see you soon.